Hello, Froggy here, and today we're going to be getting into Salvage Zone QX, which is where you fight the Machinist. So if you come over here, you'll notice there's these couple of gaps, and Zeus 5 pointed out that you can go right through these. So this is a technique I show in my barrier glitch guide. We can dismount straight through that small little crack there. So, a handy thing to keep in mind whenever you see an area like that. So now we're going to go on underneath, and we're heading around to where you would end up if you do the Sparrow breach from GlitchTutorial's old video on this area. Now, that thing's a little annoying. It's kind of in the way of where we want to go, but you can bypass it by just boosting on your Sparrow. That is, if you don't get pulled up into the mystery water. It's a very strange sort of area. I don't really know other areas in the game that behave quite like this, with the weird floaty Sparrow area. But, you know, sometimes things are just a little bit different. So if you manage to touch the ground here, you can drive normally, and we're just going to scoot on past here. And go up a little bit and get off. So as a Titan, it's very easy to just jump over here and keep going straight. If you're on a Warlock, you're probably going to have to go around a different way. And now we just have to hit this load. I like to jump around the shape of that door, and that tends to work out alright for me. So, before we get going over there, I figure I will take a little detour and show you what these little rocks are like out in the distance. Also, you can see the watchtower out there, so it's a nice view of there. So let's go chase down some rocks. It's gonna take a little while, so you can see I've gotten much closer here. And these rocks hold something of a secret, as do all of the background rocks in Tangled Shore. They are not nearly as 3D as they look at a distance. As you can see, as I get closer and closer, they are getting narrower and narrower. Also, don't mind that weird artifact in the distance. But yeah, they are completely flat. Just kind of floating decals in the background. Sometimes when you're out of map, they'll fly right through you. Well, anyways, let's keep going to the boss arena. See those things zooming along. They were not easy to catch, and now they've almost come to where I was. All of the other ones are fake too. There's a nice big island that you can get past somewhere, but there's one that's repeated a lot. Anyways, let's get going. This one's not a very long sparrow fly, so I might as well show the full thing. It's nice to take a little detour to this area instead of going direct, just because it sets a spawn point closer. So if you want to try multiple things, you save a little bit of the distance. Nice little floating door there. It's kind of strange, not sure what it's doing there. Yeah, it's just a nice little structure floating in the middle of nowhere. You can see off in the top left, that's where we're going to be heading to. It's a bit of a longer sparrow fly. So let's get going. There's a couple of interesting things out in this direction, apart from just dropping down, so after we get into the boss area, I'll show those. There's also a collectible in this area, so I don't know if it's still there in Beyond Light, but if it is, this is a good way to go get it. So once you're over this area, you can get a nice view of the entire thing from the top. So where we are now, we are out of the box. But as soon as we drop back into here, we will once again be within its confines. So you'll have to backtrack with death to keep exploring the outside areas. And luckily there's no shield wall preventing us from getting into the boss arena. So we can just walk on in. Naturally, there is no boss here outside of the mission. It would be neat. There's not too many times that you run into bosses like that outside, apart from, like, good old Nightmare Gall. Yeah. Stick around and I'll show you a couple of my other little favorite spots here. So a little bit past Pigeon Turd Peak, there is the Space Oil Slick, which is a rather interesting looking moving texture here. You can see it's kind of drifting along and changing a bit. But there is another thing that's pretty cool about this area. It is another Sparrow permeable membrane. So Proving Grounds is not the only one still in the game. Also, if you dip a little bit into the Sparrow permeable membrane and get off your Sparrow, bad things happen.